Welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about patterns and luck. These two things are opposites and we're going to see why. And it's about the fourth principle of the Kybalion, which is polarity. And I'm going to be using flowers to help me do that. And the more I look into this topic, the more I find more and more information to be included. So there's a saying in French that says la vie en rose, voir la vie en rose, which means that you look at life in roses, and it could also mean that you look at life in pink, but I don't think that it's the meaning. It's more so that you start looking at life beautifully. And so flowers, once you start noticing them, they're everywhere. And so let's start. So the first thing related to patterns is that we humans write poems for the same reason, or for one of the reasons why we give flowers is because of patterns. So in here you can see a rhyme scheme, a rhyme being the ending word of a poem sentence. So you can have A, B, B, meaning that two lines will have a rhyme and then the other two lines will have a different rhyme. And so yeah, this is patterns. If I were to tell you A, B, B, D, then you would guess that it's another D there. And so now I'm going to play you what ChatGPT answered as the link between flowers and patterns. And this is through a tool called OpenAI FM, which reads whatever text you put into it as long as it's less than 1000 words. Let's see what ChatGPT says about this.
Yes, flowers and patterns are often linked through mathematical concepts, especially the Fibonacci sequence. Many flowers, particularly their petals, grow in patterns that align with this sequence. The Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. In nature, this sequence often appears in the arrangement of petals, leaves, or seeds in flowers. For example, sunflowers have seed patterns that follow the Fibonacci spiral, and the number of petals in many flowers, like lilies, daisies, and buttercups, often corresponds to Fibonacci numbers. The reason behind this is efficiency in nature.
Oh, it turned it off. I don't know why. I'm going to play the remaining part of what it was supposed to say, but yeah.
The reason behind this is efficiency in nature. Patterns like these allow plants to maximize space for growth, sunlight, and reproduction. This mathematical elegance in nature can evoke a sense of beauty, harmony, and symmetry, which is why flowers are often associated with patterns.
So as you can see, this is a series of numbers, and just like sometimes you find in pattern recognition tests. So 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 1 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and this is something that is present in flowers and in nature, and the reason why is because of, as ChatGPT said, efficiency in nature and flow. And so yeah, we've seen how flowers relate to patterns. Now we have to see how flowers relate to its opposite, the opposite of patterns being chance and luck. But first, the principle of polarity by the Kybalion is about knowing that a thing and its opposite are the same thing, just different in degree, which means that, for instance, cold and heat are the same thing, just different in degree. So if I ask you, how warm are you? And if I also ask you, how cold are you? The right response could be by saying the degree at which your body is at right now, the Celsius degree or the Kelvin or the Fahrenheit. All these are correct answers. But this is obvious, right? What's more on the, let's say, magical side is something that I already talked about on a previous video. How, for instance, long distance swimmers can invoke a feeling of warmth during a long distance swim simply because they already anchored a feeling of warmth. And the reason they're able to do that is because they lowered the frequency of warmth and cold. So for them, these two things become the same thing during a long distance swim. Their senses toward the cold become numb in a sense. And so yeah, this is a way to see how a thing and its opposite become the same. Alright. And just to solidify how luck and patterns could be seen as two opposites on the same scale, just like love and hate are two opposites, yet the same thing, or heat and cold are the same thing. So as you can see, patterns, luck, law, coincidence, determinism, chaos, and so on. There's an anthem being played right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but anyways, I'm gonna continue because I don't know if the storage on my laptop is going to allow me to record a long video. So if you ever say that you notice a pattern, that means that it's not lucky for it to be happening, means that there isn't luck involved. And so now we're going to see how luck and flowers are the same thing. Basically, if flowers are linked to patterns, then flowers must be also linked to luck somehow. And we're going to start this by an example from how we call flowers in my country. We call them zhar, which also means in my language luck and chance. We call them the same thing. These are bottles of flowers, water flowers. I don't know the process of how it's made, but yeah. There's also this thing about flowers, which sometimes I know that it's again related to romance, but this is a way how we can see flowers and luck being related. What else again? I just wanted to say that old wisdom knew that flowers and luck are definitely related if they're related to. If luck and patterns are related, then luck and flowers are too related. Alright, so this is the crazy part of the video. So these are observations, of course, and one of them is, since I brought up in an older video the story of a man that was risking his life to find the corpse of a drowning kid. He was lost in the sea, and he was risking his life to find the just the corpse of that kid. And I know that it's kind of extreme, but I want to contrast it with this thing, which is in primary school. I remember the story being told about kids who have a certain pattern in their hands, and these kids were called, in English I would call them something like Florian kids. They have a Florian pattern in their hand, which I don't have. But the story goes is that these kids' hands in a certain ritual could be sacrificed in order to manifest a fortune. So if you thought that manifestation techniques can backfire or that it's bad somehow, some people are literally starting their manifestation with some crazy things. And yeah, this is the same as these two things are the same. So evil, if you want to consider this to be evil, then you gotta recognize that it's the same as the good in life. They're in the same scale. And so yeah, you've got to transmute this somehow, or what is the right way to put it? Not focus on this stuff that is happening. And the last thing that I wanted to tell about regarding flowers and luck patterns is that Lucifer is the light bringer in the Christian culture, which is also Venus. So Venus is literally called flower in Arabic. Venus being the fallen morning star, which in astronomy is Venus. Venus is the fallen morning star, and the way we see it is always near sunset or sunrise, because it's close to the sun, and in some ways it looks that way. It always happened to be in that position. You could look this stuff if you want, why it's called the fallen morning star and so on, but also the fall from heaven of Lucifer and the fall of dice. So the fall of dice literally means chance, and chance is luck. So luck meaning that we've closed the loop of luck being related to Lucifer. Sometimes Lucifer is also referred to as Lucas. And frankly, I don't know why it's bad viewing, since the Kybalion recognized that chance is only law not recognized, and since there's love and hate, even though love and hate are the same thing, love is better than hate. The same way, law recognized is better than chance and luck. So when I think of chance and luck, I think of maybe gambling, why it would be bad. And so also Lucifer, I don't know why this thing would be bad, because this also involves lucidity. So when if you see these terms, they're all related, and this is why I'm making this video. Flowers, Lucifer, same thing, or at least related. But yeah, if you were to take something from this video, which was a deep rabbit hole dive for me, is that a thing and its opposite are the same thing. You just have to raise your frequency above that thing in order for you to see it that way or perceive it that way. And also, if we could have the flowers as the degree at which someone is lucky, that's the same way we say that degree Celsius is the measure of heat or cold. If we could have flowers, the measure of how lucky someone is, like the proverb in French, la vie en rose. So the more you see roses in your life, the luckier you are. And by the way, this is Venus, if I haven't said that. Venus in the morning. This is how it looks, and if you zoom in, or if you were to look at it in real life, I'm sure that it looks like a flower. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope this was practical in some ways, because these topics, as much as they are esoteric, I know that there's some practicality in them. For instance, if you're trying to become a better runner, a fast runner, it's known that, and this is the same way in a lot of sports, in order to become a fast runner, you need to learn to run slow. Paradoxical, but yeah, this is something that I wanted to share, and thank you for whoever watched this video. Truly grateful, and see you on the next one. Actually, I just remembered something. So this bottle right here has a synchronicity inside of it, and so I thought of making an experiment to see if I still have my mage skills. So we're going to conduct a ritual, and yeah, if you trust me, you can stay. They say that synchronicities, they are not singular. So in a way, if you notice a synchronicity, that means that there was a bunch of synchronicities that delivered them to you. And that's what we're going to test. If this synchronicity is going to continue delivering synchronicities or not. And I can't tell you exactly what it is, but you can guess. The potion is in the making. Work in progress. Wait. Notice? There's flowers in this tea. Flowers are everywhere. So there was the prayer made, and yeah, we're going to leave it unspecific as much as possible. And if it works for you, don't come back and tell me. Just live your life.